Have you ever had a moment where you felt absolutely unstoppable? Like everything just clicked. Your energy, your focus, your confidence, and for that brief moment, you believed you could conquer anything? Now, imagine living your entire life from that state. Imagine if that level of certainty, passion, and clarity wasn't a fleeting spark, but your default setting. That's the world Tony Robbins invites us into with unlimited power. And no, this isn't about blind optimism or cheesy affirmations. It's about mastering the systems that control how we think, feel, and act, and then rewiring them on purpose. Hello, I am Bharat, and welcome to Audiofybooks, where you will find excellent audio summaries of books in a very easy and interesting way. If you want to learn from new books, do subscribe to the channel. Let's get started with today's book. Now, Tony Robbins isn't the kind of guy who just throws around motivational quotes and calls it a day. What he's done is taken the science of success, literally the actual patterns that high achievers follow, and broken them down into actionable steps. He says success leaves clues. If someone else can do something, so can you, if you understand how they do it. That's where this book comes in. It's like a blueprint for decoding excellence. So let's start at the core of it all, your mind. According to Robbins, your mind is like a supercomputer, and every thought you think is like a command you're giving it. Problem is, most of us are running outdated programs full of bugs. Maybe you grew up believing you weren't smart enough, or that success was only for certain people. But those beliefs, they're not facts. They're just stories. And any story can be rewritten. Tony dives deep into something called Neuro-Linguistic Programming, or NLP for short. It sounds fancy, but really, it's about the language of the mind. Neuro refers to your nervous system, how you experience the world through your senses. Linguistic is the language you use to describe that experience. And programming is how those two things combine to create patterns, habits, beliefs, emotional reactions. So when he says, change your programming, what he really means is, learn how to interrupt those old patterns and install new ones that actually serve you. One of the first powerful tools he shares is the idea of modeling. Think of it this way. If you wanted to become a great basketball player, you wouldn't reinvent the game. You'd study the greats, Kobe, Jordan, Curry, and you'd mimic what they do. The same applies to business, relationships, communication. Robbins says success is not random, it's replicable. Find someone who's already achieved what you want, study them, and emulate their strategies, not just their actions, but their beliefs, values, and mindset. And this applies not just to big dreams, but to everyday confidence too. Robbins tells the story of a young man terrified of public speaking. Every time he got up to talk, his palms would sweat, his voice would shake, he'd freeze. But instead of telling him to just be confident, Tony taught him how to physically adopt the posture, breathing, and tone of someone who is confident. Within minutes, his state changed. Why? Because your body leads your emotions. Think about it. Try slouching, breathing shallowly, frowning. You'll start to feel tired or anxious. But if you stand tall, breathe deeply, smile, your brain gets the message. Something good is happening. This is why Robbins emphasizes state management so much. Your state, your emotional and physical condition, determines your behavior, and your behavior determines your results. If you can master your state, you can master any situation. Before every big moment, ask yourself, what state am I in? And what state do I need to be in to succeed here? Then, use your body and your focus to shift it. Speaking of focus, Robbins says, where focus goes, energy flows. Most people spend their time focusing on what they don't want, failing, getting rejected, not being good enough. And the brain, being the obedient machine it is, responds by creating more of those experiences. Instead, train yourself to focus on outcomes. Not vague hopes, but crystal clear goals. Picture them, feel them, obsess over them in a good way. Your subconscious starts treating them as commands. Now let's talk about beliefs, because this is where the game really changes. Robbins says beliefs are like the on-off switches of human potential. If you believe something is impossible, your brain stops trying. But the moment you believe something is possible, you unlock creativity and drive. The best part? Beliefs aren't facts, they're decisions. You can choose new beliefs the same way you choose a new outfit. Just because you've believed ... something for years doesn't mean it's true. Start questioning your limitations. Who said you weren't good enough? What if they were wrong? He tells this powerful story about a guy who walked barefoot across hot coals without getting burned. Not because he's some spiritual guru, but because he fully believed he could. His mind and body were in complete alignment. Now, you don't have to walk on fire, but the metaphor is clear. When your beliefs line up with your goals, you become unstoppable. Another powerful tool Tony introduces is the idea of changing your internal language. Most of us run this constant inner monologue, and it's not always kind. I'm such an idiot. Why do I always screw this up? I'll never be good at this. These become self-fulfilling prophecies, but you can hijack that script. Start noticing your inner dialogue and tweak the words. Instead of "I'm terrible at this," try "I'm learning how to get better at this." That small shift changes your emotional experience. You go from defeated to curious, and it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. Robbins calls this the submodalities of thought. Think of your memories and thoughts like movies in your mind. You can turn down the volume on a scary voice, brighten the image of a goal you want, zoom out of a bad memory so it feels less intense. These are actual techniques he walks you through, tiny edits to your mental movies that shift how you feel about something. And once you change how you feel, you change how you act. Robbins also dives into the power of questions. He says the quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask. Most people ask disempowering ones. Why does this always happen to me? What if I fail? But what if you asked, what can I learn from this? How can I turn this around? What's great about this challenge? The brain is like a Google search. It will answer whatever question you feed it. Ask better questions, get better answers. One of the most emotional parts of the book is when Tony talks about decisions. He says it's in our moments of decision that our destiny is shaped. Not circumstances, not luck, not what happened to you, but the choices you make in response. Every major change starts with a decision, a real one. The kind that says, enough is enough. I'm not going back. I'm moving forward. And here's something that really stuck with me. Robbins says you don't need to know how everything will work out. You just need to decide what you want and commit to making it happen. The how will come. Too often we hesitate because we don't have the whole plan. But clarity comes from action, not thought. Take the first step, and the rest begins to reveal itself. He wraps it all together with a powerful message. You already have everything you need. Unlimited power isn't some mystical force outside you. It's within you. It's in your decisions, your focus, your habits, your state. Once you take control of those, you can create a life by design, not default. So if there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. You are not broken. You're not stuck. You're just running an old system. And like any good software, you can update it. Starting today, starting right now. And that's the magic of unlimited power. Not in theory, but in practice. Not someday, but now. If you enjoyed this summary, don't forget to subscribe to Audiofybooks and leave a comment about your favorite insight. Until next time, believe in your power and go create something amazing.